Alright, so I'm going to be working on the standing and default behavior again. I also have my target, so I'm going to work on that a little bit as well. So let's get her in position here. I'm starting to add the cue here. So the cue that Maddie teaches is just that left arm over my right arm there. So you can't really see it, but you can see I'll show you in a second. My right arm's down, my left arm's going over it. So that's a cue for just like staying still and waiting in default. And since then, I've kind of forgot about the cue, honestly. I need to use that more often, but um, I've also taught my horses to stand, so I'll say whoa or stand, depending on the horse. So I'm giving her the cue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, click, and feed. Cue, 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, and then I'll just say whoops is like my wrong answer, and then I'll start again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then click again. I must have done I must have done 4 in there at some point. It's hard for me to tell because I don't know exactly when I started counting, because I don't know if I'm like have my hand out still when I started counting or if my hand's all the way back. So I will make another video of me like actually doing it, so I'm not just voicing over. But right now this is what I have, so of like actually how to train it. But here's my cue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, click, and then I'll feed her. And this looks very good. Taking her off of the bucket pretty soon worked really well, so that she didn't have that head bob. And I found that with most of my horses. Like, I don't care if her head's down like that, that's perfectly fine. But I found that the bucket would make her want to go down and then come back up to get the food. So you could inadvertently teach them to do that. So I just kind of took the bucket away a little bit early. But give her my cue, counting, and then click and feed. And this looks really nice. I like that she's maintaining a pretty level, that maintaining the same head position. So that's another thing you got to be aware of. Where exactly do you want the horse's head? Do you want it a little bit higher than this? Do you want it a little bit lower? Kind of depends on the horse. How big is the horse? How tall are you? Stuff like that. Dakota is obviously built to have her head down. This is a good position for her because her muzzle's about even with my hand. So I'd probably even like it a little bit higher than where it is now because I'm having to bend a little bit to feed her. So I'm giving her the cue. You just can't see because unfortunately she's in the way. So cue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just click and then feed. I've kind of caught up the sides at this point. I think I had another video in there somewhere that I didn't show where I probably worked with her without filming too, so you don't see every single thing, so it doesn't get too repetitive. But I am doing it like 1 second 3 times, 2 seconds 3 times, 4 seconds 3 times, and so on and so on and so on. You don't want to skip too much, and if they have a problem, go back down one, because you don't want to just skip. If I'm doing 3 seconds now, I go to 8. Like, you don't want to skip. So now I'm going to take out the target because this looks really nice. And then I'm going to start presenting the target to her for her to touch. So still I'm just rewarding for the default. So I'm getting the cue, and I'm just facing the other direction. So that's another thing is you got to be aware of your body positioning because that could become a cue. So like now I'm going to work with the target, but I just did a couple of clicks and feeds there for me facing forward while she stands at default. So I'm going to stand forward. She's going to be in default, and then I'm going to click and feed her for default a few times, and then I'll present the target. And I just want her to come forward to touch the target, and then I'm going to feed her behind. So present the target, she comes forward and touches it. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to feed her so that she has to go back a step here. She'll figure it out here. I just want her to move that left front foot. So there we go. And then I'll just click again to tell her that she's right, and then feed. So this is another one of Maddie's exercises. It's the next exercise, I believe, after default. And again, I'm just going to be rewarding default just within there a few times, so that's really fresh in her mind and that she stays, and that's her her default behavior. So then once she's staying nicely in that default, I'm going to present the target. I want her to come up to it, and then I'll click her for touching it, and then feed her back. And then I'm just feeding her back so that she will come to the target. So you can also teach it with just presenting the target in front of the horse and they'll just touch it, but that was part of Maddie's course. So she's going forward to it, I'll let her touch it, and then I should have fed back there, but that's okay. But that looks really nice. Again, love the body language. She's alert and she's not like shut down and just like not paying attention, I'm asking her to back up, feed back, because I realized that I hadn't asked her to step back. And all I'm doing is presenting the food in a different location that she has to go to. I will click like at that first time where she got stuck, but I'm not gonna pull her back. I'm just showing her with my hand, like the food's gonna be here. I'm just feeding for a different position. But, and then you can see a little bit better here. You can see her going to touch the target and feed, and she's already thinking about kind of feeding back. I forgot though. But I like the body language. She's just going to resting the foot, having her head where she's supposed to, nice and relaxed. She's not worried or anything. So her body language looks much better than if you go back and see her with me just doing negative reinforcement. There she's kind of like, I think she's just she's got food in her mouth and she's like, I don't really need to go get the target. There she goes forward. So I'll take it away for a second and then I'll bring it back just so she doesn't learn to ignore the target, and then I'll feed her back. So again, I'm just feeding her back so that she can come up to go to the target. So present the target, she comes up to it, I'll click and then feed her back. There we go. Now I've remembered to do it. So these are exercises at the time were new for me as well, so I have to kind of learn them too. It's not just her. So present the target, she goes forward to it, she touches it. I'm kind of meeting her in the middle there, because she's kind of busy. She's not really into, like, she's not super excited about the target. That is a good thing too, because I don't really want her to be super excited and where's the target and getting to the frantic point. So this is very nice for her, because really I wanted her to do this because I want her to relax with the food more in the training. So I'm just gonna give her a jackpot and end this session, cue, and call it a day.